What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with some more Bad Religion, and I'm going to an album I have not yet reacted to a song from, which is The Dissent of Man. This is from 2010, Epitaph, of course. I'm a big fan of this album. I'll say it for every Bad Religion album, because it's never not true. But yeah, we're going to listen to a tune, the opening tune on the album. It's called The Day the Earth Stalled, or it should be called that. It's called The Day That the Earth Stalled. As an editor and as someone who, there are certain tidbits or certain pet peeves, if you will, that different editors will have. One of mine is the overuse of the word that, and there are many sentences where it could be easily excised and there is no semantic change to the meaning whatsoever, meaning it is essentially semantic dead wood, and ultimately you want to remove as much dead wood from your sentences as possible. Therefore, you can be more concise, and often when you are more concise, not only will your language be clearer to other people, but it might actually have more vividity. Nevertheless, the song is The Day That the Earth Stalled. And this song, it's interesting. I actually am not entirely sure about the meaning. It's, the opening verse seems to begin to take it one way and then immediately pulls it back. And I don't know, there's a question, there's some songs that Greg has written where it, feels like he's talking to like a Judeo-Christian god. Like I mentioned Skyscraper. I think that's a fantastic tune, and I really love the way it explores the ideologically and ethno-linguistically and culturally dubious parable of the Tower of Babel. So I wonder whether this was written by Brett, but I don't know if that's really the context in which to see the lyrics. It starts out by saying like, oh, you remember those good old days when we were young and we used to be so adventurous? Well, that's not what I'm talking about at all, which I really thought was hilarious when I first heard this. But then it's talking about basically like the day that like the bonds like and the friction of the world like couldn't stop, that like it was something that you did, and that is the day that the earth stalled. We'll have to hear it as we go through it, but I remember like listening to it a couple times and being like, yeah, that's really a bit opaque and poetic. So that is one of the things about Bad Religion's lyrics. I mentioned before, there are a lot of tunes they've done where like you could take some of the lines a couple different ways because they are a bit sort of like abstract or a bit, again, opaque. So yeah, like I said, I do think there's a suggestion that like this is more about the entire world and the history of humans as a species, maybe kind of in a related way to Skyscraper, maybe not about the content specifically, but like that song is about like a person talking to a supernatural deity and saying like, why have you done this to us? It was a very infantile and like sort of I'm taking my ball home and ruining everything that you have sort of move. I wonder if the the accusation that like the day that you did this thing, which I'm sort of not remembering, is the day that the earth stalled. So let's get to it. This is The Day That the Earth Stalled, the first song on Bad Religion's album The Dissent of Man from 2010 on Epitaph.
Do you remember when we were young, adventure had no end? Those were the days, my friend, but I'm not talking about that at all. Do you remember when your partner could join the simply parasitic ball?
Oh yeah, like, yeah, you set upon us with this parasitic pall. I love the oohs and ahs. It's just... I'll talk about the music at the end, but... Yeah, try to withstand a magnetic storm with no one to keep you warm. Come on. Come on, Greg. You heard that vocal flourish, huh? There's a guitar up top, too. Fucking wicked, man. And I love the almost like record kill sound at the end. That's fantastic. Shout out to the production. But yeah, one of the reasons I really love this tune, even if its lyrics are a bit unclear to me, is it's just a rocking tune to open a record with. And I mentioned it before, The first few tunes, A Process of Belief, like they sort of, hey, we're still playing fast tunes, we still can rock it, and do tempo shifts and all that. So I feel like this tune accomplished a similar purpose. It really came out of the gates, with punk rock guns firing, so to speak. And I really do love that you start an album with that sound. Even as the band continues to get older and release, it's, what are they on now? I'm trying to remember the number. It's like 17th album or something like that. I think I have like 13 of some of them. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly. Like I said, I don't have the original version of Fuck Armageddon, This Is Hell, and then I don't have Into the Unknown or Back to the Known, but I do have 8085, so I do have some of the material from like that period. Nevertheless, let me know if there's another tune from this album that you'd like to hear. I'm a big fan of it. I mentioned before I did want to get to some of the later albums, so I still got to do True North, I still got to do Age of Unreason. I do have the Christmas album as well. I want to like save that for later in the year, which is funny, like, I mentioned I have a lot of videos from my old channel, including reactions and other things. I do have a bunch of holiday mixes, and I'm like, some of them are like, they were really popular on my old channel relative to the views I was getting on that channel. But like, I can't really, it's their holiday mixes, so they have to come later in the year. But nevertheless, when we get to, the December and sort of the holiday times, I will have to react to at least some of the Bad Religion Christmas albums. So let me know if there's one that you want to hear way down the line. Nevertheless, I appreciate the people watching and listening, the punk rock people on this channel. You were one of the first people who sort of keyed in on the channel and started making the views and sort of the sub count rise and so on. So big respect to all of you. I really appreciate it. And obviously, I just enjoy talking about punk rock music. I mentioned it before, I'm a big acid techno guy, but I was into punk rock before that. So yeah, it will always remain one of my very favorite interests, and I'm happy that there are some people here for it. So thank you for listening and watching. I do appreciate you. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.